Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so welcome in what's next, because that's the work in progress title for our discussions, where we are joining the forces in this podcast series. We will see what it will end up with. But I'm joined today by Jack, and my name is Marcin. Let's start from short introduction, Jack, for the audience that will be crossing over. Who we are, what we are doing, and what we are planning to do here. You can start, man.
Sure. So yeah, after 20 years in custom software development, I moved into SaaS products investment, and now I'm looking at all the AI technologies to speed up the process of new SaaS products development to the market, and also I have more time to research what's going on in the IT world. And you, Marcin?
Cool. Yeah, I was struggling to find who I am recently, but I name myself as the technology leader, an entrepreneur with probably more than 15 years of building also a lot of digital platforms, growing engineering teams, and helping organizations and business in general to scale their technology using technology, and through the hands-on development, hands-on team building, and hands-on business building as well for years. And yeah, I'm also exploring the new technologies and everything new in our field to do something with it, basically, and see where we can help ourselves and business, and how the technology and all the new stuff can help us building it. And I was not into the SaaS field too much intentionally or not intentionally in the past. So that's why I think our fields and business fields can easily cross and help each other to understand the various perspectives onto building things. And yeah, our series is called What's Next? So we'll be also talking about what's future can bring us. And you started already mentioning AI, and of course we'll be talking about AI as well. So let's start from the topic number one, which you brought to the table, and it's Claude versus OpenClaw. Your turn.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I will take it from here. So those two technologies are buzzing, a lot of press about both, and I've seen that many people mismatch those two technologies, and some think that it's like the same thing. So that's why I wanted to bring this topic. Of course, for the IT tech savvy people, it would be obvious, but let me just quickly go through what are the difference and what actually is similar in both two technologies. So those two technologies are agentic AI. It means that you can ask it to do things for you. And Claude Code is from Anthropic, so it's like from the huge player, and versus OpenClaw, who was brought only by one person to life. So this is a pretty crazy story. So Peter Steinberg exited his previous product in 2021 with over 100 million acquisition. Pretty sweet. I hope I will be in that position someday. Who knows? So based on his TED talk, he was a little bit bored after that. He didn't want to code and was probably living life. But when the AI came to life, and especially vibe coding, he felt the feeling of creating something new once again. I guess it's kind of typical for the CTOs to feel something new in heart thanks to the vibe coding and bringing to life code and projects much quicker than previously. So all fun is with us to create things and with no struggle to do things manually, coding manually. So with that being said, he thought that it would be great to prepare agentic AI that will manipulate your computer in a good way, of course. So it will do the tasks for you. So those two ideas are quite similar with both two technologies. And fun fact, as far as I know, OpenClaw cannot use now Anthropic's API. So there was a little bit beef between both of them, and that was pretty sad because it was the Peter's favorite AI model to use. So Claude Code is more for coding and developing things. You have the cowork module which can integrate with all your things like Gmail, Calendar, Zapier, you name it, Salesforce, SAP, what you have there, and do things for you. And OpenClaw is more like back in the days, uh, more hacking style thing, when you prepare the skills and give the access to your drive and prepare the scripts, or actually the OpenClaw can prepare scripts for you. But the huge difference is that Anthropics has its own AI models. Currently, Opus, which is like the best probably for coding and in general, the top tier. And OpenClaw is just a tool without any model it's themselves. So the integration comes via the APIs. So that's the huge difference. And OpenClaw is more for life and workflow automation, so it helps you a lot with daily tasks. And Anthropics Claude Code helps you to bring the code and also do the automation more strictly. And it's for sure it's safer to choose the big brands Anthropic, OpenClaw for any business reasons. And for the private reasons, I would highly recommend to just have fun, to give your computer a heartbeat, because it's what is implemented by the OpenClaw. There is a heartbeat, and from time to time it communicates with you about random things, which is pretty sweet. And for both those technologies, you can integrate Telegram or WhatsApp or Discord for the communication. So really, some of the concepts are very, very similar, but for the business and for the software development, I would definitely go with the Claude Code, and OpenClaw only leave to the fun private projects and testing what's possible with the technology. And what about you? What's your first topic?
Yeah, I think my first topic, I just wanted to add to something like that, because I think we were all following the evolution of this project, and I think that the story that you brought about the Peter's product and acquisition, because at the end of the day, the OpenAI bought the OpenClaw, so that's kind of secure process from their side to own it. So it's interesting to see where it will be all going, because we heard, probably a lot of people also heard about the failures and about the stuff that something wrong has happened on someone's computer because OpenClaw has too much access to the too many things on the computer. So I think I was quite avoiding using OpenClaw yet. At least I haven't used it myself. But of course, with the Claude Code, I use it daily, and I think this, as soon as I will find an interesting use case for manual operations automations on my computer, which will probably be possible to be replaced by automations or AI skills, maybe then. But now I will leave it open because I don't need it, to be fair, right now, and I didn't find it use case yet. So that's my turn to that, and I think that will be interesting to see where it will all go after those acquisitions and exits. So we'll see. My first topic is kind of relying to what you've just said about AI, because I think that right now everything is about AI. Every conference is talking only about AI. Every business is exploring AI potential for them. And my open question and open discussion, which I wanted to bring to the table, is: will every company become a technology company by the end of the day? And that's something what I started to investigate myself, because 20 years ago every company needed a website, because that was the beginning of the internet. We need to be present in the internet. 10 years ago every company needed a mobile strategy, because mobile traffic was bigger than desktop traffic in many cases. 5 years ago every company started think about the AI strategy or the risks and stuff, and now we don't know where it will all go, because should we be worried about this AI? Should we be exploring AI if we are doing some, let's say, boring normal business things? And yeah, that was something what I wanted to explore and to talk about through, because technology in general supported the business from day one in almost every field. We have digitalization processes everywhere, and now even in manufacturing, logistics, construction, retail, healthcare, you name it, technology plays a huge role and influence a lot of the growth over the businesses, because they need to grow, and they are looking for the growth themselves. And most of them, and a lot of them, are becoming, in my opinion, software-driven organizations, because software often owns them because we have big players, big companies, big manufacturers who use the big software. They build the custom software themselves. You've been also involved in a lot of processes like this. They also can use software which is built for them and built for them to optimize their processes. And we don't know. We can't recommend easy choices for those companies. And for example, one company that I followed through was Klarna, because it was probably one of the most discussed AI stories in the last months and or years. They announced that their AI was handling work equivalent of hundreds of customer support agents and significantly reducing their support costs. And yeah, they weren't selling AI; they were using AI internally to become more efficient companies. So it's like technology become the heart of their process of optimization. So the question is, should they hire more people, or should they build or utilize more AI internally, or more technology internally? That's something what was also seen in various other businesses. Even Shopify was one of the examples that I followed, because they were mentioning something about hiring process. They mentioned that before hiring a person, teams should first prove why AI can't do their job, which is something what we in the IT industry were exploring for years, because there was a fear that AI will replace us all, and should probably already replace us in many cases. And we were talking about it before recording this, that yeah, it is true in a lot of the cases, because we can use AI, we can use the technology to build something for us quite faster, better, not always ideal, but yeah, how AI can help the companies, how AI can help us, how technology can help us. And my take, my kind of point is that the winners, I think, in the business field and the company models, the winners won't be the companies that are using AI, because probably all of us will and are using AI somehow. But the winners will be the companies who will be redesigned around AI, and this affects, I think, not only the creators or the producers of the whatever field we will be producing, but every company, because I think that it can help, but it can hurt at the same time. And those will win who will do something what will really help them. And I think that the danger is in the fact that everyone can do that, and a lot of people are focusing around doing something with it, but not doing something what really brings the value for them with it. And I will definitely want to leave it as an open question. And I don't know, Jack, about your take on that one. Do you think like every company will become a technology dependent or technology driven company, or you're not agreeing with that?
I think yes, but not in a way that they will build their own software using, for example, Claude code. That would be very dangerous. That would be very dangerous because on the first side it would look easy. A company can ask, build me the CRM I want to replace Salesforce, for example. And probably they will get some product which will work, but over some time, there might occur some edge cases, and not technical people will not be able to solve them easily in a way that those edge cases and those problems should be solved, and that would generate more and more problems. So I believe that still some partners or technical employees will be needed if you want to become a technology company. Or the second option is that those companies will find some SaaS platforms for their niche, which can serve them with the services they need, with the functionalities they need, and the SaaS product will do everything they wanted or almost everything they wanted from the software around their business. And in a way, both answers, they will become technology companies, but not by becoming AI coders or vibe
Yeah.
coders. That's not the case.
Yeah, I think the one word which comes to my mind when we talk about it is like more like orchestration of the software inside of the business model. So yeah, they will need technology, and of course they need it more and more these days. But choosing what kind of technology, what kind of software, SaaS platform will plug into their business and help them will be still a unique skill, and probably something that will be internally driven, because no one knows the business better than they know it themselves, or orchestration person, people, team will probably combine the tools to help them. Yeah, that's the question. If anyone is watching and has something to add to that, please do it, and do it for all the topics that we'll be discussing, because we are jumping to the next topic that you are bringing to the table, which is the SaaS apocalypse, which is the meltdown of the seat model. And over to you, Jack, to walk us through that.
Oh, yeah, okay. So there were a lot of headlines, probably because a lot of red color was on the market. So that always brings the headlines, and based on the headlines, people think that's the end of SaaS model, especially paying per seat. So let's break this down. So first of all, the seats model, I've never like that entirely. So that's like every seat has to be paid. I rather would be going to some tiers, and then you have flexibility to change number of seats within one tier. But most of the SaaS platforms don't work this way. So what happened? The many employees using the SaaS platforms are not needed now, because those tasks can be automated. So you don't need as many licenses, as many seats as previously. That's the one case. And the other case is, which is like a little bit further more into the AI world, that thanks to the AI integration, a lot of people can use internal tool and say, hey, just change this task in the platform. And only one integration is needed for the AI user, which is like doing all the changes in the software. So that was one reason a lot of seats were cut off. And the other reasons was that some of those platforms were really overhyped. I can speak, for example, about Monday.com. So they were selling they were selling planning tool not only for the businesses but also for the private users. So the product looks great and it's very flashy. So a lot of people were interested to use it, even like the customers using that for the daily list of the things to buy in a grocery store. However, at the end of the day, those users were on the free tier, or in the long run, they stopped using that. So there were multiple reasons. So Monday.com is year to date, it's almost 50% down, and I can understand that. The second big platform, it's HubSpot, because CRM would be the first and the easiest tool you can build with Claude Code and just use your thing. If you have some IT talents in your company, if not, you'd rather stay with HubSpot or other CRM. So it's super generic. It's only keeping the companies and contacts in one place. So I'm not surprised that this one is also in red. And other software, for example, from Atlassian, 35% down year to date. So, but looking for the companies who adapted to the current situation, Salesforce, that's a good example because they are all in for the AI agents, AI modules, AI features in the Salesforce. So they are very strong still, and they are a SaaS company. So they just knew what to do. That would be like the overall information regarding the SaaSpocalipse. In my last question, I will try to flip the coin and see more green than red in the topic. But now back to your second topic, Marcin. You're muted.
Yeah, I muted myself. Sorry. Yeah, I was saying that it is an interesting topic, and I haven't seen this, of course, as from the apocalypse perspective because I haven't been that close to the SaaS products in general. But if you mention HubSpot, I also noticed something on the market about the client acquisition and generally funnel of getting customers for them, which was mostly, if I am correct, around the content marketing model. And generally right now having seen and seeing an enormous amount of content on the web, and of course the traffic coming from not only Google and content platforms, blogs or whatever, but AI agents, models, and questions being answered. It proved that tools like that might suffer not only from the perspective of what they do in general and how they can be replaced, but also how they are getting customers. Because if you and that might be something what you will be talking about in the next topic about the more optimistic visions for SaaS and not only SaaS businesses, because from my perspective, the competition plus those unique selling values for business and tools like that would still need to be explored a lot, because it's not one strategy that will get them customers at the moment, and the strategy needs to be changed. So I'm quite interested in your next topic, but I have another topic to mention in between, and it's more about people, not AI yet, but of course touching the AI era. Because I was thinking loudly, and I want to talk loudly about it as well, about who we should hire and what kind of people should companies hire in this crazy times, new times, not more crazy than ever, but crazy of course. And I was walking through the Montenegro mountains recently, and I was thinking about the future and who would be the most valuable employee in 2030, for example, right? Which is not that far in time. It's 4 years from now. And imagine this, like
Yeah.
it completely might not be the person who is the most valuable now, of course, because, and especially if we both are coming from the tech heavy industries and tech heavy backgrounds. So right now, if I would be, for example, hiring developers, it's not their tech skills, not their hard skills, which matters the most, because that's something what can be more and easier delegated right now to tools and platforms and generative AI. But something about this orchestration came to my mind, because those people who are, in my eyes, now the most valuable ones to hire still in the times where we can use tools for everything, we still need people to know which tools to use where and where to put this hammer down. I don't know if this analogy about this hammer and nail is global, but we used to say, and we used to talk about the mechanics who know where to put the hammer down to fix the problem, because you can fix the problem, you can build the tool to fix the problem, you can build things for everything, but the challenge is to find the problem to fix and then really use what was made to fix the problem, and instead of arranging the army of AI agents to build platform that you don't need or something like that. So I think this is a challenge for the companies, I believe, because especially in the businesses where the mission was to be big in terms of headcount or to grow by headcounts, because right now in my opinion, it even matters less than ever It's not a bragging slogan that, oh, we hire this amount of people now, but because previously that was often a competition that I saw amongst the companies, who is bigger or whose teams is bigger. And I think that right now, if one person can produce the output of 5, what skills become truly valuable, and should we multiply this person's headcount by 5 by default, or how should we, in this featured areas on the website, should we have 200 people and 7,000 agents as a about us page or something like that? And I think that this will be more and more interesting to observe, because for decades companies optimize for specialization, and now I think we are seeing shift already, and in the rise of this AI native employees and AI adoptions across the companies, I think someone who automates before delegating things might be an interesting person to hire. Someone who builds workflows before asking for resources or for people. That's something what I see as a unique skill amongst the people who, especially tech heavy people, because we often want to build something because we can, or that's something what you probably also seen amongst the tech founders, because they often failed because they were too focused on building something instead of building something what can be sold or can be needed. And now someone who uses AI to multiply output, not someone who uses AI because they can. Everyone can. And I see it amongst the many founders that they are reporting that certain employees have become more productive, while others barely change or even decrease their productivity, because they do more. Of course, they work more because they are amazed by AI agents doing something for them. But at the end of the day, it's not amount of output matters, but the quality of this output and value for the business matters the most. And this requires, in my opinion, and again, that's my personal opinion, a different mindset in general. So my observation is that, for years we've asked how many people do we need to do something. Now, how few people can achieve this outcome is the question that I would probably ask. And yeah, I think that is a great discussion point and a topic that will be something what we'll be discussing more and more often amongst the companies. And my role that I would probably be either turning myself into is like becoming more like AI augmented operator, because I want to use AI, but I want to use it for a purpose, and I want to filter my thinking about utilization of those potentials and domain expertises and agents that can solve the problems, but those problems and input of the problems needs to be still filtered a lot, because not every problem right now needs to be solved the same way as it was before, even that some of it can be delegated and automated. And yeah, just to close this discussion from my point of view, I think still AI won't replace people, but won't replace the great people. It will replace the people who were doing repetitive, boring stuff, coding included, unfortunately, for most of the people. But it will also dramatically widen the gap between average and exceptional people. And I think this is where I see a lot of potential for people who I work with on the day-to-day basis, because a lot of people are worried about their future. And I think that, if exceptional people who were exceptional in their field, it might be coding, might be marketing, might be whatever, they can stay exceptional if they will really wrap themselves around AI and tools and feature potential, because the future will let them utilize their skill sets at the same exceptional level as it was before. That was my take on this one. Do you have anything to add to that?
That was a good one. Yeah, I do agree with you, especially with the point that the exceptional people will always win, because even using with AI, or especially when you are using AI, you need to have like the brain power to actually compute what's going on, because AI outputs you a lot of information, and we as humans have to at least be able to go through those data to understand what's going on. When you are coding with the AI, you have to be thinking like in the 3D chess here and there, changing so many places. So one thing is to check the code after the prompt, but the first thing is to has the knowledge and brain power to envision what you want to do in one run and ask for what you want to achieve correctly, because those are the biggest problems when you do a lot of iteration around small stuff and ending up with not what you wanted from the very beginning. But it's not the problem with the AI, it's problem with the operator. So exceptional people with the brain power to be able to catch up with the AI in any field, not only coding, they will always win, in my opinion.
Yeah. One also skill that I would add to this list is like a level of bullshit detection. So it's like, yep, it's amongst the content, amongst everything what we see in business, relations between companies, and day-to-day tasks that we are doing. Still, AI can do everything. Tools can do everything. There's a tool for everything almost. As the mobile app for everything was in the back in the days. But
Yeah.
detection of bullshit amongst the business, like, do you need that? Do you need this? Do you really want to go that route? Is this exactly your problem? For example, that's still something what probably tools and algorithms yet cannot be better than humans. Those that have those brain powers, as you've mentioned. So I think that
Yeah.
we are quite safe, but yeah, I think that will be a challenge in the business fields in the next couple of years for sure. Cool. Over to you now for the last topic from your side this time and in this episode. And yeah, you're coming back to the SaaS niche, and you will be talking
Yeah.
about the high ticket, fast growing niche. So go.
Yeah, exactly. So, believe me or not, there are hundreds of SaaS companies making great money nowadays. So, first one is maybe not from the niche. So, that is the DigitalOcean. So, that's the service which helps you to optimize your AI usage. So, that's not a shocker that this is growing very rapidly. So moving to the next one, that would be a MarTech. So it's marketing technology. I also have one SaaS in the MarTech field. So that would be, for example, Pitch Kitchen, which helps you with automating messages, mass messages, and telling story about your business to the others. So marketing, but boosted with the AI and other features. So those type of platforms, they are skyrocketing right now. About speaking about the skyrocketing, let me bring a company which 3,200% growth, and this is the Beehive. So also MarTech SaaS platform for newsletters. So new take on how to do newsletters, which will actually grow your business. So the technology everybody knows, but used in a smarter way. So you probably didn't think that the MarTech like this would be skyrocketing now. All right, so maybe I should keep it as a secret and just continue with my platforms, not telling
Yeah.
everybody
Oh.
how good that is. Okay, so let's move to the next one then. So the AI used correctly for the very specific niche or local rules. So that would be, let's say, a little bit like the AI lawyer, maybe not like the agent lawyer, rather like the assistant for real lawyers. So there is a few examples of software like this. One of the company only wrapped OpenAI API with the good prompts, how to help with the contracts, how to help with the formal papers. And they in 1 year they had like 200 million dollar in revenue, only on few hundred clients or even less. So it shows that the high ticket SaaS platforms can do really good numbers, and to opposition to the very generic SaaS platforms back from the days like the CRMs, task management tools, you name it. So if your technology is from a niche, that would help a lot. And if it's better to keep your technology than do something from the scratch, it's also the good bonus. So I'm saying here, if your SaaS product is bringing value from the day one, it's the gold for the users, because they don't have to worry about all the maintenance and other thing. They just take from the shelf the product they want, and they use it. It's like on and off whenever they need. They can use it whenever they want. They can pause it. So like those type of the companies and products will be skyrocketing, in my opinion. They already do that, and I should keep it secret, but ah, let's just take it and do something around it. So back to your last topic, Marcin.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware about it, as you mentioned. So that's quite surprising. But I agree with you as well on that one. Just to close it, because I think like turning on and turning off subscriptions of something is what I do, even personally, right? So why I wouldn't do that from the business perspective? And I think that all relates to what we are discussing all the time. It's like a fast validation of something, right? If you are buying or building the product, and you can validate if it did make sense after 6 months, in the very optimistic case, in the past, or a year, 2 or 3 from now on, that's probably too long right now to do any kind of business validation. You want to validate it fast. You want to have this feedback from the tool utilization after ideally 3 months, but even a month if possible, right? As you've mentioned. So yeah, that's quite interesting perspective. And I must say, I haven't been exploring that much, but yeah, you've spoiled it already. So I will, and probably a lot of people will do the same. But yeah, that kind of relates to my last topic. Maybe that will be exactly what I will do, because my topic is that starting company today. And it's like 2026 for everyone who will be watching that in 2030. we are talking in 2026, and if you started a company today, what would it look like? That was a question that I asked myself, and I wanted to talk us through that. And we in the startup field or in the business field, we were thinking about platforms like Airbnb, as a good example of something what started as an idea from couch surfing perspective, and grew into the platform which was used and related to be a good example of something like a property rental field, for short time stays and on even longer time stays from the Airbnb perspective, as well. So if Airbnb started today, would they still need thousands of employees? Or could the first billion-dollar version of it be built by 50 people? That was the number that I came straight from my mind, because I think that's kind of changing, because we are living in this new reality, and I wanted to imagine myself like the fact, okay, we don't have whatever we are doing at the moment in all the businesses we are included at the moment. We have $500,000, pounds, euros, you name it, and what we are doing to start a business now. And previously you probably would go to sales team, support team, I don't know, marketing team, developers if it would be a tech company, then maybe a growth marketing team or growth managers or whatever, managers everywhere, managers for managers, then structure. A new reality is like, in my opinion, a little bit different, because right now, probably for the first time in business history, companies can scale faster than they scale people. That's a huge statement, I would say, because that was never really true before. Now, in my opinion, it's becoming true. We removed the traditional bottlenecks, which were about the human capacity. And yeah, my experiment would be that, previously in 2018, when it was all started, like, founder would probably go and set up some marketing coordinators, operating staff, junior developers. Now AI-driven support, AI-generated content, AI-assisted development, automated reporting, and then enhanced research, even also with AI. So from 6 months perspective, one would have 25 employees, and now probably it could have 3 or 5. In the worst case, 7, if they would really be efficient enough. And both would probably be profitable. They would both survive any kind of recession, but which one could move faster? That would be probably the open question. So I think that the next generation of the company now is like not a headcount, as I've mentioned, not an office space, not management hires and layers, but they need to be built for leveraging everything what they have, and that was also relating to the human aspects as we were discussing, because AI still struggles with trust. AI still struggles with relationships, even though that is aiming to be replaceable as well. And yeah, strategy, taste, judgment, conventions, all of those buzzwords that we can use that AI is not ideal with yet. So I think that in the world where everyone can generate content, code, presentations, reports, the scarce assets become knowing what should be built in the first place. That's something what I think that would be a perception of the company builder today. And yeah, maybe that's the question that every founder should ask themselves, is like, if you were starting your company today, would you build it the same way you built it 5 years ago? And 5 years is a lot, it, right? Jump back 5 years from now, back in time, and think if now whatever you are building would be the same as you were building then. Because in my opinion, again, very personal opinion, is if the answer is yes, you are probably underestimating how much the world has changed.
That's agreed. 100% agreed.
Yeah. And yeah, to close the hook and close the discussion, I think that the next generation of successful companies won't necessarily have better products. They won't necessarily have more employees, and they will simply have more leverage per person than their competitors. And that's where I see, at least amongst the businesses I work with, is like, how you can leverage the powers that you have right now available for you, how our powers, our mindset, our knowledge can help you to multiply and leverage your business potential. And if this combination will be in place, and if you would be the business founder that will be in the position of growing your business this day, I think that would help you the most, because then the companies that use AI efficiently and the scalability of the tools that are in the market, that will replace the companies that won't do that. And that was my last take.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add, Jack, to that?
Yes. So I don't want to spoil too much, but I will add something to this topic. So, like, looking forward now, if you want to build some software product, you shouldn't build it. You should sell it before you build it. So you should find clients. You should have already paying client waiting for the premiere, and then you start building. So that would be my take on this. How fast now it is to bring to life good ideas, and then of course all the maintenance and keeping all the concurrent clients, users with the SaaS model. That is super difficult. But to start, you don't need a product. You just need the idea. You just need to know the problem in some niche. Go there, speak about the problem, then a little bit say about your solution, and they will be okay. So if you understand my problem, probably you have solution to this. Okay, here's my credit card, sign me in for that. And then you collect the client for the product, and you market it further, and then you start building. So that would be it for my side, looking at the future regarding especially the software.
Yeah, that's interesting, and I think I agree also with you that the problem needs to come first. But at the same time, we had a lot of examples in the past where the mentality of fake it till you make it was wrong, But now it's not completely wrong, in my opinion, because the fake part is no longer a fake. It's more like you can have an idea that can be easily solved, but this idea is solving someone else's problem, and then the sale process needs to come first, and then you are building the solution for the real problem, which was previously the longest path towards the business settlement. Now it's not the longest part because you can build faster than sell things. So I kind of like your idea of selling before building. So it's no longer a build to sell. It's longer, first sell something and then build something, because that's in reality solves someone else's problem.
Yeah,
I kind of like
exactly. Yeah, it will. In my take, it will work in the SaaS product world, because you have the list of the waiting users for that, and when the list is long enough, then you launch it.
So just to have a short open discussion at the end of today's episode, you think that what kind of skills you or people or founders, entrepreneurs, and any kind of, let's say, people from our circles can develop or focus around to, I don't like this word, but to succeed in this field? Do you have any kind of maybe the sales skills? Maybe that's
The sales skills, it's like the most important nowadays. Marketing and the sales skills, that would be the most important. But overall, I would say like being open-minded, because the world's changed. So the business doesn't happen now in meeting rooms. You don't have to wear in a suit. It already was developing into this directory from many years, but now it's the game is in a different place. You can sit on an island and have a good product, and people will buy it because they need the solution, and they just don't care who you are, where you are. They don't meet you. They just want to have the product. So it's changed a lot, in my opinion, into this direction. But still, like sales, marketing, and understanding people, and the brain power, not in like the mathematical understanding, but the brain power to handle all the news, all the things which are coming your way, and all the output of the AI, regardless your products or just chat window, which blows with so many details. So just the brain power to be able to quickly scan what's important, what's not, and just navigate towards the information and things which will really bring you closer to the success, as you said.
Yeah, I would just add effective communication to that. That's probably
That's a very good one. Yeah,
because sell you can't sell if probably, and again, I didn't even know that I'm a salesperson myself before I started to be one, but you can't sell things if you are going through the wrong directions these days. It's like you need to be effective in this communication, and as you've mentioned, being a filter of information, being effective.
exactly.
Translator of first ideas to the solutions, then problems into the tasks and things like that. That's something what I was intentionally evolving myself, but I still see a struggle amongst the people in various organizations because they effectively can't communicate effectively, which is the wrong sentence probably, but that's the case. And yeah, I think that would be the good wrap up of our today's discussion. And we can probably leave some open question for everyone who will be watching this recording. What questions, what fields of business, what fields of what's next can be interesting to discuss in the next episodes. And if there's anything what someone who will have something to add to our discussions, we would be probably more than excited to read through and answer on the comments wherever this video will land on. I don't know where it will land probably, but yeah, that would be something what I would love to hear, because feedback from people who are interested in the same explorations would be the most exciting to get back to. Do you have any closing statement from your side, Jack, to leave people with until the next episode of What's Next?
I would say just remember to also stay human when you use so many AI. Not to be not to be like the best friend with the AI, still be the best friend to people around you. That would be it.
That's bold. Yeah, I love it. Cool, Jack. Thanks for today's discussion. It was interesting to walk through those topics, and yeah, let's see where the future will bring us. But for hopefully to the next episode, where we'll elaborate on some other topics from our fields. So thanks, man.
Thank
Take
you,
care and
everybody.
have a good day.
Thank you, Marcin.